Okay, it's no secret that things are becoming very, very expensive in Dubai. What was only available for what, 1.5 million a couple of years back is now at a minimum 2.8 to 3 million. We're talking about a 3-bedroom townhouse, not an end unit, not a fancy thing on the golf course, a 3-bedroom townhouse sandwiched between other 3-bedroom townhouses. Nothing wrong with that, but they are expensive. So you're having this conversation with your real estate agent and he tells you, but there are payment plans to help you out with that. Well, yes and no, right? These payment plans oftentimes have you best case scenario paying up to 60% of the value of the house by the time it's completed, and in some cases up to 90%. That means you'll have to come up for a 3 million dirham house, you'll have to come up with at least 1.8 million dirhams over a course of a few years till project completion. That's not including the Dubai land department fee as well. And in some cases, up to 90% of the value. That's not a payment plan, that's a crowdfunding plan. And hey, look, I'm not here to say the developers are right or wrong, because if they're doing it and people are buying it, then there's a market for it. That's business. Who am I to say otherwise? But it does make it quite challenging for a vast majority of people to buy houses. And again, you're having this conversation with your real estate agent, and at this point he says, but don't you know, off-plan mortgages are now a thing. If you buy from reputed developers, banks are willing to give you off-plan mortgages up to 50% of the value. And at this point, your eyes start to light up. Calm down. Understand this. There are a lot of good real estate agents out there, but the fact is they only make money when you buy something, and some of them don't give you the full picture. Either they don't know, they haven't done their homework. At the end of the day, if you're spending your money, you've got to do your own homework. But that's okay, you clicked on this video, I've done the homework for you, and I'm going to show you a few ways, this is going to blow your mind, in which these off-plan mortgages are not really a thing. They do exist, but for most of us, not really a thing. Point number one, off-plan mortgages are not available for all the good developers. They're only available for Emaar. As of the making of this video, I checked with the bank and I checked with a mortgage broker, and they're not available. Not for every developer out there. It's just specifically for Emaar. So that automatically just negates a lot of investments people are going to make in a lot of other developers. But that's not all. Point number two, they'll only give you 50% of the project value, and it has to be after 50% of the project is completed. And now you're thinking, that's okay, they're construction linked payment plans. That's fine. I'll pay 50%, bank chucks in, they pay 50%, suddenly 3 million is only 1.5 million. Maybe I can do this. Maybe I can do this. Well, maybe you can. But here's something to think about. Construction-linked payment plans are real, they are. But I'm going to put up on the screen a payment plan, and I want you to answer two questions. Try and find these two things out. Number one, where does construction actually start? And number two, when does 50% of the construction complete? Okay? All right, here it is. I'm going to give you a few seconds. Yes? No? Have you guys figured it out? Notice how 10% of the construction is only completed when you do about 40% of your payments, which means you've paid up to 40% of the value of this house and the builder has only constructed 10%. It is construction linked, but it's just not one-to-one linked. And if you look down further, 50% completion is only completed when you've paid in 60 to 70% of the project. So, realistically, if you wanted to get that off-plan mortgage and if you're buying from Emaar, you would still have to pay up at the very least about 60 to 70% of the value of the house, and that's not including the land department fee of 4%. So you're out 65, maybe 75%-ish before you actually get that loan. And that's not all. We're not done yet, because the next one's going to blow your mind. I actually reached out to the bank and a mortgage broker, again, just to verify this, but it turns out these off-plan mortgages, they're only available to you if you buy directly from Emaar. Which means if you go for a second sale, someone else has bought from Emaar, they're looking to offload the property, you've spent a couple of years, collecting some more cash, putting it aside in savings, and then you say, oh, he's selling it for almost the original price, and I've had these extra couple of years to save up money, now I can afford it, let me buy from him. You can't get the mortgage. And this one really is weird to me. Why does it matter to the bank whether you've bought it from Emaar or not, right? It shouldn't matter, but apparently it does. The only thing I can think of is that this is a sort of a handshake between the bank and Emaar to try and get more people mortgages. So it's only available under certain specific criteria for certain specific type of people. And look, I'm not saying it's useless. I'm sure somebody's benefiting from it. Someone who can pay up 60-70% and just wants help with the rest. For those people, it's there. But given the way the prices are going for the vast majority of us, it's not really a thing. And even if you're willing to pay the money, if you've not bought it directly from Emaar, there's no off-plan mortgage for you, which means you're going to have to see this all the way through. Or worse, if you hadn't done your math, you're going to have to give up your apartment or your villa. You're going to have to sell it because you didn't plan your finances, because you didn't do your homework properly. But that's okay, because I did the homework for you. Now, here's the thing. When you're watching this video, maybe what I'm saying is not true. And I hope that what I'm saying is not true, because if I'm wrong and if things have become better, that's good for all of us. And at the very least, even if things have changed in the future, at least by watching this video, you've figured out the right questions to ask, which is half the battle. Okay, that's it. I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Oh, and subscribe. Now bye.